Hello and welcome back to Radiant Dawn 0% Growths. We are on Chapter 4.1. Last chapter, Nisala was the MVP. I don't think that's terribly surprising. Scrimmer did get a lot of kills, and Har got several, but Nisala definitely got the bulk of them. This chapter is our first with the Grail Army, and Ike is promoted. He's now Vanguard, which gets him another couple of points of speed, which is definitely really nice for this chapter. I talked about last chapter the limitations of Scrimmer having 26 speed, and a lot of that does still apply to Ike, although there are a fair number of enemies that have exactly 23 speed, so he does double quite a few enemies that Scrimmer would not, but nonetheless, that 27 speed isn't going to be doubling things for too terribly long, but for this chapter in particular, it will. Not everything, but it will double a fair number of enemies. We get Nyla back. We don't actually get any new units in this party for whatever reason. We get 3 new units in the Silver Army, 1 in the Hawk Army, and none in this army. And I mean, Nyla and Raphael are making their triumphant return, but it's not quite the same thing. What else is there to mention? I think that trying to see if there's anybody gave XP to. Oh, I guess I gave a little bit to Gatry. Gatry's got Paragon. I don't really. Oh, I guess I should mention. I may not have even talked about this when I was talking about my army division last chapter, and I meant to. But I had been talking about promoting one of Gatry or Kieran. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to promote Lucia. I think that'll be significantly more useful. Helps her hit doubling thresholds. Gatry and Kieran don't get that benefit from promoting. Mia puts in work. I think Lucia can put in some work too. Not as much, but that's my plan. So Gatry is not going to get promoted. I got Paragon on him. He gains a bunch of levels in this chapter. Maybe he can promote mid-chapter next chapter. Probably not. It probably, but the Paragon doesn't really matter too much anyway, so I figure it might as well. Other than that, Mia's still got Adept. Ike has Daunt and Adept. So we've got a third Adept scroll, courtesy of Zahark. I mean, we had 3 all along, but a third one that's accessible now to Ike and friends. Our other Adept scroll is on Shinon. Yeah, so for this chapter, we're going to have one on Mia and one on Ike. So some of the enemies that Ike doesn't double, the idea is that he can potentially double them with the Adept Daunt for typical reasons, although I'm thinking about it right now, and Ike and Mia do a good enough job with their durability that it might actually make more sense to put it on like Titania or something, but I think it's probably fine. Other than that, I don't think there's anything really going on in here. I guess I added a support between Gatry and Mist, because it's like similar to the Har and Wrist support. It's just like, I want to do something, but yeah. Alright, so this is Chapter 4.1. It is a Fog of War map. You've got these sandbag barriers kind of all around. There's some breakable sandbags here and here, and then another one here, and then another one up here. And you're ostensibly protecting Ina. That doesn't come into play too much. A little bit, but only a little bit. And it is unfortunately a rout despite being in the fog and having reinforcements teleporting in, which is ridiculous, but what can you do? We are bringing Ike, Mist, Nyla, Raphael, Titania, Heather, Mia, Oscar, Laura, Gatry, Zahark, and Volug. And yeah, let's get started. So this guy right here has 25 speed, so Ike does not double him, but Mia does. So we're going to bring Mia up and hope that she can crit or Astra or some such. Very good. And then this guy actually has 23, so Ike does double him. So we can have Ike take him out. Well, alright, I guess he would have anyway, but... So then the next thing we're going to do is these sandbags, the enemies really like to break them, and sometimes they like to break them in lieu of like actually attacking, which can be useful in certain situations, but for the way that I'm trying to clear this chapter, it's mostly just annoying because I want them to be running themselves into, say, Ike, and instead they run off and hit a sandbag. In particular, there's some enemies that are going to come into this area on enemy phase and attack Ike and Mia, where they're not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed that Ike or Mia will kill them, and if they're in range, some of them will run up and hit the sandbag to turn after that rather than chasing after Ike or Mia, which is a problem, because then they're not in a place where I can really deal with them. So what we're actually going to do is have Titania come over and break the sandbag. Axes do super effective damage against sandbags, just the way they do against doors, which doesn't really make sense, but I'm not complaining. Then we're going to have Laura shove Raphael, and we're going to come up and chant for these three. And actually, before I forget... Oh, gotta wait for this. Oh yeah, 2 strength. Let's go. Before I forget, we're going to have Mist come up here and Hamern the hammer, which has 1 use. The one that we weren't able to Hamern during... is it 3E? And then Heather is going to come up here and light a torch, and thanks to her rogue vision, she's able to see all the way down to the bottom a bishop here with a physics staff. There's a bunch of these around the map. This is one of them. There's another one on the left side that we won't get to for a little while. He's like there-ish, I think. There's one that's here, and then there's one that's like down here. And they're problematic not only because we can't enemy phase them, but also because they'll heal enemies that we didn't finish off. And that's, well, it isn't always a problem, but it certainly can be a problem. So being able to get them out of the way faster, obviously, is preferable. Anyway, then we want to take out this guy. We're going to do that with a combination of Titania and Oscar. That's one of the reasons I wanted to hammer in the hammer. So Oscar is going to chip that guy, and then he's going to come over here. So this guy, we want to trap this guy so that he can't like come and attack Heather, or Raphael, I suppose, although we're going to screen Raphael anyway. If we trap him with Titania and she hits him, then the bishop that's here will heal this guy. But if we don't, if we trap him with Oscar instead, he won't do enough damage to heal this guy. And that actually does make a difference to being able to take this guy out next turn, which is why I want to do that. And we're going to hammer. Take that guy out. And then Mia is going to come down here. We've got the Tempest Blade that Zahark has conveniently provided us with. We're going to use that to take out this guy, Ow. Yeah, Mia's not really supposed to take damage, so that's not a good sign. It's very possible we can get through the rest of the chapter without her taking any more damage, but I would really rather that not have happened. Anyway, there's some ranged enemies that are going to be coming in, which is why we want Mia to have the Tempest Blade equipped. Plus, she needed the Tempest Blade to be in support range of Ike, which is pretty relevant for both of them in terms of their durability. Then we can have Nyla come over here and take this general out. There's a whole bunch of generals on the right side. Nyla one-rounds all of them comfortably, so she makes a really good choice for dealing with this side of the map. Though there are some drawbacks to that I'll get into in a little bit. So one of the reasons that the Ina thing is relevant is that the guy here would be able to attack Ina. If that weren't the case, I would probably actually go ahead and take out this sandbag now with Nyla, because there's other enemy generals that will come up and try to attack the sandbag and not, run themselves into Nyla in enemy phase. But unfortunately, because this guy can get to Ina, like, we kind of have to kill him on player phase anyway. So there's no real reason to like wait on that, because we're not saving an action by taking out the sandbag instead. because we have to kill him either way. Anyway, then we're going to have Volug come over here and use some Olivia Grass. There is a Falcon Knight in the fog that's going to fly in and attack him. We're going to put Zahark here to make sure that the Falcon Knight is here and not here, because we're going to have Oscar end up coming back here. Oscar can use bows now. He's going to come back and end up shooting at that Falcon Knight, that's... like, if it's positioned here, then he, like, can't attack from this square, which is where we're going to want him to attack from. So we're using Zahark to, like, do that, and also to support Volug. And that's also going to get Volug ready to transform, which is one of the reasons I want to do it. And then Gatry is going to come over and break this bag. And this is, again, because we want these bags to be broken sooner rather than later, so that the enemies attack on enemy phase rather than attacking the sandbags. Yeah, see, that's what Mia's supposed to do. So there's a Sage here. We could have counterattacked this guy with Gatry with the hand axe, but he'd just get healed anyway by the bishop that's down there, so it doesn't really accomplish a whole lot. That guy that Ike just killed is one of the guys that he doesn't double, so he had to activate Adept. Although, I mean, it doesn't really matter too much because he will chase after Ike. Actually, I should say, all three of those warriors down there will not move on their own, at least on turn 1 enemy phase. I'm not sure if it's a turn-based thing that they start moving, or if it's like a get into threat range, and then like once one of them fights, the other two are willing to move, or exactly how that works, but at the very least, the other two are not going to move this turn, but they will move next turn. That Halberdier, I think, is one of the guys who will run up and attack the sandbags. That's why we wanted to break that. Comes the Falcon Knight. Volug only getting hit once is nice. Yes, these guys are like fixated on that sandbag. That guy running up is unfortunate, because if you have Ike like a little bit further up into the left, that guy will come around here instead, which makes dealing with this side significantly easier. Although, admittedly, this first wave of dudes is not really the problem that this side has. Primarily, it's some reinforcements that show up later. But nonetheless, it would be nice if we didn't have to deal with him, but we do. Taking out the bishop, I think, is definitely worth it. So, first thing we're going to do now is Oscar and Titania are going to work on killing this guy. Oscar can use his bow. This Titania will do enough damage. The Forged Javelin does a little bit more damage than the Steel Bow, which is why I mentioned that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so we're going to put Oscar there and get ready for him to get chanted by Raphael. And then Titania, pick up the kill. And we're also going to have Mist come over here and use the Torch Staff. It's not really something that we need to do like right this second for its own sake, but having it up later can be useful. I'm also, on thinking about it, going to have Heather come over and use a torch over here now, which is going to give us vision on the bishop that's right there that I mentioned earlier. And along similar lines, I'm actually going to have Laura do this in case we need vision from her at some point. She's carrying a torch. And then we're going to chant. And we're going to have Titania come in and put some damage on this guy. Which is enough for Gatry to finish him off. And now that... we've done that, we're going to trade Gatry the hand axe so that he can counterattack the Sage. It'll just mean the Sage attacks Titania, but that's fine because she's a lot more likely to dodge and takes less damage if she doesn't. We're going to shoot this Falcon Knight. And then go for the kill with Zahark. Very good. Alright, so now I want to start thinking about next turn a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're gonna need to shove Raphael a couple times. 3 times across this turn and next turn to be precise. One of those is going to come from Heather. One of them needs to come from somebody now, and then another one can come from somebody next turn if we want to move somebody up to heal. So we could. We're also going to want this. This guy should swing around down here to attack. Although I guess it doesn't really matter where he attacks from. The movement is the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So if we shove with not Volug, we have the option of shoving with Volug and having him still reach the Sage, which is nice because he can double the Sage. But we can also potentially just use one of Laura or Mist and then have them do it again next turn. As opposed to, yeah, actually, it doesn't really make sense to have Volug shove because we can have Heather do it next turn and she can't reach if Volug shoves. So I think, let's see, Mist has got the Physics Staff. If we shove with Mist, well, we can just use a Vulnerary with Volug. So we don't really need to run Laura up here. Maybe it would have actually been better to give Laura the Physics Staff right now, but I did not. Can't really see any problems with having Mist do the shove here, so guess I will, and then I'll go ahead and have Laura do this heal, even though we could have Volug heal himself, but... And I guess... No, there's no reason to put Volug all the way over there. I don't think there's anywhere I can put him that sets up useful support with Zahark, because Zahark's going to move after Volug anyway. So I guess we're just gonna shift here. Actually, what I should have done is traded for the torch and used it. I did not think of that. Alright, so now Mia is going to come over and take out this bishop. And she's doing that with the Tempest Blade because that's going to put her... Well, A, it's going to allow her to counterattack some ranged enemies. There's probably only one that's going to attack her, but still. And B, it sets her in support range of Ike, who, standing here, can enemy phase a couple guys with ranged weapons. And then... okay, yeah. Let's talk about this a little bit. So, we got a guy here with a short spear we got to take out on player phase. That much is obvious. This guy with the Horse Slayer, though, for whatever reason, just won't attack. He'll run up here and try to get to the sandbag, but even if the sandbag is broken, he won't attack. He'll just, like, run around and not attack, which basically means he's, like, another enemy that we have to take out on player phase. And then, of course, this guy's going to keep beating on the sandbag. Or, sorry, that's not obvious because he hasn't started yet. He was a reinforcement. But he will beat on the sandbag in lieu of attacking. So we basically have 3 enemies here that are all, like, player phase kills. If we had, you know, like I said, if we had taken the sandbag out last turn, this guy would attack, but the other guy would have attacked Ina, and we'd have to kill him. And so it would just get kind of awkward. I also actually looked into, like, doing a savior rescue thing, but the problem is then the sandbag is still not burst, and so we don't actually end up able to save the action because this guy still sends a turn beating on the sandbag, and also this guy ends up running down this way if we do that, which makes like this part more unreliable. So it's unfortunately like this is basically the limiting factor. It's actually similar to 1-8, where Nyla has to kill 4 enemies on the left side of the map that have ranged weapons or staves and won't die on enemy phase. Like, it's basically the same deal here, where she had, like, we're limited to a 4-turn clear because that's how long it takes Nyla to kill the enemies in that area, which is unfortunate insofar as if it weren't for that, it would be possible to do a 3-turn clear, but it would be pretty unlikely because it relies on Ike and Mia getting pretty lucky in the lower right to be able to actually finish in 3 turns. Like, they can do it, but it basically, like, the only way... I think the only way it's possible, at the very least, is Ike has to activate Adept against the boss, and also maybe against some of those generals as well. Oh, what was that? Come on, Mia. Hopefully that guy is still in range to die to Ike. That could actually make a significant difference in terms of what we get to do down here. Let's see. Nope. Okay. Yeah. So, well, we're definitely gonna do this. Nice. Okay. Yeah, the deal with this little group is that, like, these are all ranged enemies who can all attack Ike, you know, from this spot he's standing on. But this guy that he just killed is a melee enemy who won't move. So we kill him, or at least put enough damage on him that we can kill him next turn. And then, so the only ranged enemy here that's going to move is this guy. It might actually make sense to not kill this bishop. Normally what I would want to do is kill this bishop right now, but... The reason not to kill him is because... So, in order basically to try to avoid breaking the Tempest Blade, is that if we come down here and kill this guy is going to go attack Mia. He will move this turn, even though he didn't move last turn. And... So this guy will also attack Mia from where he's standing, but he won't move, so if Ike is standing here, he'll attack Ike instead. The risk with not killing the bishop is that depending on the order of healing and attacking, if, like, let's say, like, you know, one of these two guys attacks Ike and then gets healed back out of range where Ike has a guaranteed kill, and if Ike doesn't activate Adept against the boss, and we could end up in a situation where... like, we have to activate an Adept or something on Ike to be able to clear the chapter next turn, even on next turn enemy phase. But I think the healer's going to heal this guy before he does anything, before, like, any of them do anything else. I think. And so, if that's the case, then these guys will definitely be in kill range. The boss will be in kill range. These melee enemies will be in kill range, and it should all be fine. So that's what I'm gonna go with. I would really like Mia to be able to use the Tempest Blade for the next Grail Merc chapter, or Grail Army chapter, rather. Yeah, so we gotta kill this guy. Like I said, you can see he ran up and just stood next to Nyla, so take him out. That halberdier that just teleported in will attack, fortunately, but this guy will keep going after the dang sandbag. We might as well do our shove with Heather now and reveal the bishop down here. Next thing we want to do is have Volug come down here and attack this guy. And then we can have Zahark come around and finish him off. I guess what we actually... We could... I was planning to chant for Volug, but, you know, we don't... We could chant for Gatry instead. That might actually be better, and then we don't need to shove Raphael. I think I'm gonna probably do that. So... We can... Although this is kind of awkward. I guess... Yeah, there's no way to, like, reverse their positions. Unless... Oh, unless Titania and Oscar go back here. Yes. Okay, but I need to count squares for... 1, 2, 3, 4... Oh, that's easily... Yeah, close enough. Or wait, no, but we'd be attacking this guy. 1, 2... Oh, but we can... Titania can go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... Oh. Is it enough for Titania to use the hand axe? Or maybe she attacks this guy now? He doesn't kill her. Yeah, I think that's what we do. Okay, so the reason I'm looking at this is there's a wave of reinforcements that are going to show up in the upper left here next turn. 3 of them are like up in the corner here. 1 of them is here, and then 1 of them is like here. And the one that's here, the only real reliable way to deal with him is to have Titania start the turn here, attack him, canto away, get chanted, attack something else, come back this direction, and then have her enemy phase that guy. So it's because if she like starts the turn over here like without having attacked this guy, or like just in general like does something over here, gets chanted, whatever, like she's not going to be able to get into the thicket to attack. It costs too much movement. So yeah, let's go with having Titania attack this guy first. Okay, and then we should be able to set up this kill for Gatry with Oscar. And we should also have him already ready to get this one. Yeah. And we can do some healing now. Actually, I want to get Mist a little bit further forward. So let's... Well, let's put... Let's go ahead and have Gatry come over here, take this guy out. Can heal him with Laura. Oh, we gotta get this guy. I almost forgot. And... You know what might make more sense? to shove Raphael in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because we may well end up wanting to chant here. It's either going to be here or here. I think it's more likely to be here, actually. But if we won't have the opportunity to shove him next turn, because, like, unless Titania activates Soul against the guy who's going to show up over here. Because if we don't shove him now, then we won't be able to leave somebody here, because, like, then that guy will be able to attack them instead of Titania. Trying to remember. Like, I know there's, like, a Halberdier that shows up here. There's a Sage that's here and a Swordmaster that's here. I think we end up... I'm pretty sure the chant is here. So you get, like, 2 people attacking the Swordmaster, and then they come up and attack the... Yeah, so I think it should actually be fine. That means I want to... Physic Titania, which is maybe a little bit of overkill. And then... I didn't give her a Vulnerary? Dang it! Well, that... What? I meant to. Oscar's got one. Gatry's got one. Ah! I can't get far... Oh, well, okay. I guess we're not giving her a Vulnerary, then. I mean, it should be fine. Yep, okay. So that guy gets healed. That's completely fine. Nice. That actually helps a little bit with our reliability because the boss has an authority star, so now our hit rates and avoid rates go up by 5%. Won't complain about that. So yeah, you can kind of see here, like, the 3-turn clear involves, like, Ike also adapting against that guy, adapting against this guy, which he didn't, and then, like, Mia killing the bishop with the Tempest Blade instead of the Steel Forge, so that she can counterattack that Dark Sage that she killed on player phase. Alright, so... yeah, we can get where we want to go. So, the nice thing at this point is that we have everybody who is particularly threatened by these sword masters, and they are threatening, like, but at full health, so they can potentially withstand a crit. Not that, you know, we want to get crit, but if we must, it's survivable. We can start with Titania over here and have her Canto out. Okay, good. So we don't actually need to heal her, which is going to be nice. And then... I think what we want to do is do this. Actually, let's see. 44 minus 18 is 26. 1 damage short. Okay, that is enough damage, though. So the one option there is to chip that guy with Oscar to set up the kill for Titania. That's assuming we don't want Titania's damage up here, though, is the only thing. Because, like, Gatry does a little bit less. He needs 17 damage, and Oscar does not do that. So, we might want to hold off on that a little bit. Actually, what I'm going to do is... this is something I would probably be doing regardless. Relevant missed damage. That at 5 damage should mean that Gatry at 24 plus Volug at 13 is enough to kill. Let's see, yeah, we got this mess though with the crit rates. 47 hit to hit, 20 crit versus 20 two times, but Gatry survives 1 crit. I think I'm gonna go Gatry here. Well, oh, wait, hold on. Volug doesn't survive a crit, right? No. It is only like 4.7%, basically. Ideally, we'd have Zahark in range, but we need Zahark to attack this guy, but probably not from this square. So we're kind of stuck. Also, Zahark really wants Voluk to be in range for that attack, because this guy has a high crit rate too. It's like, probably not as high, but 10%, yeah. Alternatively, we can do this, but the reason we don't want to do that is because it wastes like one of our slots. Like, we can attack here and here with these two and then chant for them. If we have Oscar do that, then one of them runs up and doesn't really do anything. Well, maybe Gatry would throw a hand axe at this guy. I guess we could look at that. So 19, that should be enough for Titania to finish this guy. Actually, it's not. She only does 23 to him. So we need Gatry to hit him this way. So yeah, we don't want to do that. Alright, let's just go in with Volug. Okay. It's all fine. Everything is fine. It certainly looks like... Well... Is it safe for us to do this yet? I mean, as safe as it's going to be, but... He's got the big biorhythm down, Volug does not, so we'd prefer to attack with Volug first. Although, attacking with Zahark first means that they're both in support range, so maybe that is better. Just, like, still trying to figure out, like, okay, so basically, Volug is going to attack this guy. Zahark is going to finish him off. Actually, we might just not have enough damage here? If that's the case, I'm not sure why, because it's always the same set of enemies, but... Oh, am I not accounting for being able to attack twice with Oscar? I think I am not accounting for being able to attack twice with Oscar. Yeah, do we start with this? So Oscar gets... Yeah, I think I want to start with this. Would have been nice to get a soul proc on that. Okay, so now, even if we don't kill this guy with Gatry, like, if we come up here and hit him, he's going to be in range to die in enemy phase. That was kind of the idea. Alright, what's the... So, 45 hit and 8 crit versus... 43 hit and 10 crit. I don't actually know which one of those is more dangerous. Probably the 45... Well... it's a close call, I guess. I think I do prefer to lead with Volug still. And then bring in Zahark. I think Gatry does enough with the hand axe that we don't have to attack directly. We leave him with, like, what, 8 HP? Surely Volug does enough damage to... Yeah, Volug does 10 damage. So, we'll do that. And then... Oscar... Wait, didn't we say Oscar could do this without having to attack directly? 16... And 26. Yep, that's enough. Okay, so we'll do that. Oh. Well, too bad I can't sell those because I have more than I need, but, you know. Okay. Put Titania over here. We're going to heal Volug. Make sure that he is not going to die to that Halberdier. And then, down here... This guy won't move. So... At least I think he won't. Hate to be wrong about that. I guess actually what I can do is... Kill this guy. We've got... Yeah, we're gonna kill that guy if he attacks. So... Ike should have no trouble killing this guy. Yeah, alright, that's what we'll do. And Nyla can finish this guy off. What else have I got? Oh, Heather. There is, or there are, rather, coins on this map, but they're in inaccessible locations. Here and here, and then here. Which is just weird. Like, you can't even drop somebody... Here, you'd have to get it with a flyer. You could drop Heather over here with a flyer, but there's also an arm scroll like somewhere over here, I want to say, but none of that is relevant, so we can just end turn. Volug's still not at S-Strike. Think. No, he definitely isn't, because we were just looking at his 31 attack. And there you are. 4 turns to complete Chapter 4-1. Definitely a chapter that... feels like it should be doable in 3 turns. I think in on a gross playthrough it probably is, because you can probably like clean up the units on the left side more efficiently and send somebody else over to the right side to help Nyla get the last of the generals dead. And Ike and Mia are going to be reliably doubling everything rather than just semi-reliably. In fact, you can probably just send Ike on his own. You probably don't need the support. He probably just like wrecks everything in the bottom anyway, regardless of that. So you could have an extra unit to send either to help Nyla or to help the left side and then allow somebody else to go to the right. In terms of 0% gross. I don't know. Like, maybe if you, like, rig RNG hard enough, you can, like, not send Mia with Ike and still have him, like, proc adept enough and proc ether and all that good stuff and kill everything anyway. But I don't know. I don't think that would work out without, like I said, heavy RNG manipulation. So this is what we got. In any case, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time for 4-2. Until then.